Believe it or not, it's time to say goodbye to my beloved 2023 Lexus GX 460. Mine is a Blackline Edition, which means that I've got blacked out wheels and trims as well. And this is in Nori Green with a beautiful 4.6 liter V8 engine, as you guys already know. I've had this car for about a year or so, and I'm going to be trading in for something else, which I'm not ready to reveal yet. And I'm kind of curious to if you will be able to guess what I'm buying next after this one. Now, before you get too upset about me letting go of the GX 460, just keep in mind that I do have another GX 460, which is a white color in exactly the same configuration, Blackline Edition, also 2023. It has a higher mileage than this one. So I'm not saying a goodbye to GX period, but definitely saying goodbye to this particular model that I have been driving for a while. The car is only about a year old or so it's in perfect condition, and I've really enjoyed driving this. It's sad to not have this as my daily driver anymore after today, but that's okay. I've got some other cars I can drive, and of course I still have press vehicles almost every week. The interior is new Lex, so it's not actually leather, but I do like this light gray color, which I thought was a little bit too light when I first got the car, but it actually resisted staying really well, and it looks just like brand new still. Mine is pretty low mileage, and I really like the blackout wood grain also along here and here. And overall, even though this car is old and outdated, especially in comparison to the new 2024 GX I have driven just a couple weeks ago, it is still a beautiful vehicle. I think it aged well, it looks great. Most of all, it's just an amazing car to drive because of the V8 engine. So let me open the hood here. I'm kind of doing this live stream style. So here's the 4.6 liter V8 engine, and it has outdated design from many of you guys' perspective because it's not turbocharged, it doesn't have a hybrid and so forth. But this is like the most reliable engine in the world. This thing will just probably keep on going forever and ever. And I know that it seems stupid to let this particular GX go, but I do have another GX, and I don't think I'm going to let that one go. So even though I have a deposit in the new GX 550, and that could arrive in the next couple months or so, I probably won't trade in my other white GX, but instead I'll do something else. I'm not quite sure what that means yet. We have a RAV4 Prime and RAV4 Hybrid also in our company fleet. So maybe those are the ones that have to be let go, because I do not want to give up on the last V8 engine GX. So even though I have to let the Nori Green go, I'm not going to let a V8 Power GX go. Now, you guys might be wondering why I'm selling or trading in the Nori Green version instead of the white one, because this is a beautiful color, also pretty rare and hard to find. And that's just because this one has a lower mileage than the white one, so I got a better resale value, and so it just kind of made sense to do that to maximize my trade, because the next model I'm buying is more expensive than this one. And I'm sorry to keep you in suspense, but I'm not quite ready to tell you what that is. The unveiling of the new model that I'm buying will be probably just in a few days or maybe a week at the most, so you'll find out very quickly. But I'm curious if you can guess what the next model is. You guys know me enough that I wouldn't trade in a GX 460 unless next one is something that's better. And the definition of better might be difficult to define for some of us, but I can assure you that for me personally, the next model is more exciting than even this one. But just coming back to the GX for a moment, in terms of what I really enjoyed about this one, it's a very natural, organic feel of the hydraulic power steering, which is always a better feeling steering than electric power steering, because 99% of cars out there are all powered by electric power steering now, and they just don't have a lot of feel anymore. There's not much feedback from the road, you feel disconnected, and the steering is very light, which is the case with the new GX 550. But this one with the hydraulic steering just have that beautiful balance and a really good heft to the steering, so it feels a little bit heavy and you can kind of feel the road, and I think you just cannot replicate that feel unless the vehicle actually have hydraulic power steering. So that's obviously something I enjoy the most. But even the way that the brakes work with accelerator, the transmission and so forth, which is obviously outdated as well, the whole package just feels pretty good. It just makes you feel like you're driving a tank, and something very solid, something very smooth, and it just feels like this is ready to go anywhere, and it is, because the basic chassis is shared with 4Runner. So this is kind of like a more upscale version of the 4Runner with a V8 engine, and it has almost as much capability, maybe not quite as much as a 4Runner TRD Pro, but definitely a lot of off-road capability. So this one is good to go wherever you want to go. I didn't take it to some serious off-roading because I knew that I might be trading this one in. I wanted to keep this in a great condition. One thing that I did notice, by the way, especially compared to 2024, the new model, is that the ride is quite different. This one actually rides better because it's 18-inch wheels. I've got the Michelin Latitude Tour tires, which are very good. And overall, this thing is extremely comfortable and pretty quiet. And the new Lexus GX 550 is also quiet, also refined. But because they upgraded the wheels and tires to 20-inch in the premium model and 22-inch in the luxury model, I found that the ride is actually not very good. It's pretty bumpy and quite stiff, and therefore I prefer the GX 550 in the Overtrail version. That one has 18-inch all-terrain tires, and that one I think has the best ride quality among all the GX 550s. But none of them is quite as comfortable as this one, just because the design and engineering have changed so much. I think they wanted to make the new GX 550 handle better, so they made the suspension and everything a little bit firmer, and it definitely handles better, corners better. It's more fun to drive in some way, but it's also a little bit harsher in terms of ride quality. So that's what I really like about my GX 460. And even though this sidebar rear door is a bit awkward, as most of you guys know, it opens this way. It's also very heavy, but I still get this pop-up window. So thankfully we do get that on the new GX 550 as well. And yes, the whole design is awkward compared to the new GX 550. So from that perspective, definitely new gen GX is better. And the body panel quality has been absolutely excellent. As you know, this is built in Tahara factory in Japan, which is the factory that's also producing the new 2024 GX. And you guys have probably seen some of my videos from the past, but the body fit, the body panel alignment is just out of this world. These are all 3mm front to back. Same thing here. 3.1 millimeter when I measured earlier. A bit wider here, but still about 3.2 or 3, and this is back to about 3.1 millimeters. So the gap is amazing. Look at the paint quality, very deep shine and gloss. Very little orange peel on this particular GX. Quite different from the Lexus TX that I'm driving this week. That one has a fair amount of orange peel, and the paint quality just isn't as good as this Tahara built GX. It's just a beautiful paint. Panel alignment is so perfect, and part of that, of course, is that they've been building this GX for a while now, many years at the Tahara factory. So over the years, they've got the quality of the panels and quality of materials just done perfectly. So needless to say, I never heard any squeaks or rattle in this car. Everything felt solid. Maybe the only disappointment for this Canadian spec GX 460 is that it doesn't come with the Mark Levinson stereo for the Blackline Edition. So the stereo quality is not bad, but not great. And even though we have a touch panel now, this screen is pretty small, especially compared to the 2024, which has the large 14-inch screen. But still, you have most of the safety equipment in this GX and most of the technology you want, even compared to other modern vehicles, including adaptive cruise control. So no complaints from me. I will definitely miss driving this as my daily driver. I have access to many other cars, so it's not a big concern to me. But I've learned to love and cherish my time with the GX 460, and the Nori Green. It's just an amazing color, so much depth, so much character in the paint, and it's just a beautiful paint to look at, especially when it's all washed and clean like it is right now. I've had this car ceramic coated, And so you can actually just feel it with your finger, that kind of very smooth feel to it. And thanks to a great work done by a local detailer, it just always stayed pretty clean. Even with the rain and the dirt and so forth, it never looked all that dirty. It tended to kind of just slide off because of the ceramic coating, which by the way was a graphene coating, which I think is actually a better ceramic coating for modern cars these days. And the new vehicle will be arriving tomorrow. So back-to-back switch, let this one go, pick up the new one, and come back home with it. There's going to be a lot of videos of that new model. And once again, let me know in the comments below if you can guess what I am picking up tomorrow when I trade this Lexus GX back to the dealership. And a big shout out to Jim Patterson Lexus in North Vancouver, and they have been taking care of me for many years now, but especially the last few years, because we purchased a lot of cars from them, including 2 GX 460, a Lexus RZ, and now this new model that I'm buying. So there's one hint there that it is a Lexus that I am buying tomorrow. And AJ, who is my salesperson over there, has been an amazing person to work with. He's always taking care of me, along with the whole management at Jim Patterson Lexus, which includes Michael Chase as a general manager, Isaiah as a sales manager, and also William, who is also a sales manager. The whole team has really taken good care of me. Anyhow, I'm going to sign off for now. Let's say goodbye to the GX 460 in Nori Green and say hi to a new model coming shortly. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later.